Hey everybody, Michael Taft here. Ready to do some guided meditation with you in a non-dual way. Please let me know if you can hear me and see me okay. I'm on vacation right now and I'm in somebody else's house and we're way out in the woods and they don't have great internet. So I just want to make sure that you can hear this okay and see this okay. So let me actually change the shot here just slightly. There we go. And just let me know if there's any problems. There will definitely be some unusual sounds like the heating in here. We're in the woods, it's very loud. The heater, I mean, the woods are beautifully quiet, but the heater, it's cold, right? So the heat is on and the lighting is really harsh and all that. So my apologies for all the non ideal conditions. Okay. Again, if anything is not looking or sounding right, let me know, especially early on before we begin tonight's guided meditation. So, about tonight, um, I'm only going to have probably, I don't know, 30 or 40 minutes to do the guided meditation. So, it'll be quite a bit shorter than normal. But people often ask for shorter meditations. So, hopefully, every once in a while, that's a good thing. It's a variation, right? And if you want the longer meditations, of course, I have hundreds of them available. So, tonight we'll do a shorter one. Other than that, assuming everyone can hear me okay and all is well, we're just going to get going. I notice there's nobody in the chat, so I just want to make sure that you're able to chat. I don't know how you'll tell me if you can't, but let's hope that you can. Okay. Enough. Oh, there we go. Thanks. Dark. Testing, testing. Yeah, I'm testing. So everyone can hear everything okay? Sounds good? Okay, great. So remember, when I do this at home to the camera, I have to look at the computer and control the computer. So I'm staring at the screen and I'm wearing my glasses. But you don't have to control the computer. Just make sure that your notifications are turned off. There's not going to be any, sudden bell ringing sounds in the middle of the meditation or anything. Or you're going to get a phone call or something. Turn that all off, and then if you have glasses, just take those off, and don't look at the screen. Don't stare at the screen. Just even if you're meditating open-eyed, which for our non-dual practice is definitely recommended. Even if you're meditating with open eyes, I don't recommend just looking at the screen. Look at the floor, look at the wall, look out the window, whatever, but don't just stare at the screen. And so, hoping that you all have everything set to go at this point, let's begin. So, as usual, just tune in to yourself and feel how you're doing. Ask yourself the question, what's it like to be me right now? And then tune in. Feel your body sensations. And however they feel, good or bad or neutral or weird or normal or whatever, however the body feels, just see if you can, at least for the duration of this meditation, just see if you can allow it, your body, to feel just the way it does. Let go of trying to change it, let go of trying to control it. Just simply allow it to be the way it is. If your body feels really bad, that might be hard, but at least for now, because you're meditating anyway, you can change it afterwards. But while we're sitting here together, just let it be the way it is. And to whatever extent you can, give up trying to change it or control it. And give up complaining about it, right? Like, I wish it was different. I wish it was different. Just for now, just for the next little while, just let it be the way it is. And really just allow it to open up and to be accepted just the way it is. Be. It's really important that for now we let things just be. And you'll see that when you allow the body to just be as it is and the mind to just be as it is, that it really gives you the feeling that there's a lot more room inside, so to speak, metaphorically. There's a lot more space and a lot more ease with what's arising. And let's do that with our emotions now as well. Feel the emotions that you're feeling in your body. Feel even tiny emotions, a little bit of worry, a little bit of frustration, a little bit of joyful anticipation, whatever. Even if it's very, very tiny, but you know you're feeling it, just tune into those emotions. And then again, whether they're good, bad, neutral, big, small, in between, weird, normal, whatever, just for the length of the meditation, just let them be that way. Just give up trying to change them and control them. And both with the emotions and with the thoughts and even the body, let go of claiming ownership. Let go of being the owner of the body. Let go of being the owner of the emotions. You didn't create your body. You didn't, you know, choose the genetic material. And so it just is what it is. Same thing with your emotions. We don't own our emotions. They're just happening. A lot of it is evolution. A lot of it is habitual conditioned reactions. A lot of it is just the result of causes and conditions in our lives. So, emotions are just what's happening. You don't have to take ownership. That doesn't mean we can't work with them and so on, but it does mean we don't have to believe that we are our emotions. We don't have to identify with them so much that they kind of become us. Rather, they're just appearing. They're just something that happens in the environment of awareness. And of course, with thoughts too, we don't have to take responsibility or ownership of our thoughts. And very definitely, we don't have to identify with them. What I've learned from my own meditation experience and from other meditation teachers or deep practitioners, and also from teaching hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people meditation, one of the things I've learned is that your mind will just throw up any kind of thought. Everyone, just all kinds of thoughts. And, it can become a real problem if we think we own those thoughts. If we think we are the thoughts, or we're identified the thought with the thoughts. And then, from your deep unconscious, some really unfiltered, um, uh, deep unconscious material just bubbles to the surface. Well, that can be all kinds of stuff. Every kind of, sick, awful, uh, evil thing might come up. Also, of course, beautiful, inspired, and helpful things too, but usually those don't bother us. And so if we're very identified with the contents of the mind, then when these difficult thoughts arise, we really clamp down. We don't want to see that about our mind. And so either we stay clamped down so that we're just living in the little tiny crust at the top of the mind that's all safe, or we learn to uh, meditate, and we learn to do deep scuba diving into our unconscious mind. And if we do that, we get used to the fact that all the material down there is not, puppies and kittens and rainbows. It can be very intense sometimes. And so I want you to let go of identification with the contents of the mind and the contents of the emotions and even the body in terms of identification and ownership as much as you can. And instead, just let all those things be exactly the way they feel like being right now. And just instead, allow the feelings of the body to arise unimpeded, allow the emotions to arise unimpeded, and allow thoughts to arise unimpeded. And all of these are then simply appearances in awareness, and then eventually change or move on or maybe stay a while. But we're not really concerned with trying to shift them around so much, make them different, or deny them or control them, but rather we're just simply not engaging. And this is our non-dual shamatha, right? This is our non-dual samadhi, is to not try to control thinking, not try to use fixation as samadhi, which is how you meditate dualistically, but rather to use the inherent stability of awareness itself, and it is inherently stable, as our samadhi, right? We're resting so outside the mind, so to speak. We're resting in awareness itself, allowing the thoughts and feelings of the mind and the body to simply roll past without engaging, without digging into them, without attaching on, without gripping or grasping or tightening, and crucially, without identifying with them. So let's do that for a little while longer, quietly. Good. So we're resting outside the mind, just dwelling in the natural, wide open spaciousness of awareness itself. Awareness itself doesn't matter, doesn't mind if things in the world are spacious or constricted, um, but awareness itself is spacious. It's wide open. The nearest metaphor for awareness is space. Um, the only difference is that awareness is also awake, right? It's aware, it's conscious, but it's like space in that wide openness. And so it's doesn't mind if things in the world are small or constricted or whatever. Maybe a muscle is constricted. It's not like we're against that. But awareness itself is very open naturally. It doesn't need any help to be open. It just um, needs you to not try to constrict it down, which you can do if you want. You can focus in a tight way, but we're not going to do that right now. We're going to focus in a no focus way, right? It's wide, wide, wide open, but very, very, very alert and awake to what's going on. And as we're doing that, we're so resting in this spacious, this vast, spacious awareness. Let's just continue to notice all the body sensations, all the emotions, all the thoughts and urges and so on that are passing through, but in a very different way. We're noticing them from awareness itself. Now, the way that we do this depends on kind of where we're at in our practice. If you're not able to do it at all, then I suggest that you just rest in spacious awareness and feel the breath wave rising and falling and work with that, because sometimes the thoughts and feelings are too sticky and they're just beyond our level, our capacity to stay unattached to, unidentified with, disidentified with. And so if that's the case, then just rest as wide open awareness, feeling the breath wave rising and falling. We're not concentrating on the breath wave, we're just feeling it. And then if you're able to rest outside the mind, but you don't have a lot of experience with seeing emptiness, de-reifying or not reifying in the first place, what's arising, then I want you to rest outside the mind in awareness. But it is still dualistic in a way. You're observing everything arising from awareness. You can even observe the body and the mind and emotions arising from awareness. And because you're disidentified with them, you are, in fact, having a pretty deep meditation. But there's a way that you're still taking a stance outside of them. And so it is kind of dualistic, but sometimes that's where we're at, especially with our shamatha. And we're doing shamatha right now. So that's not a problem. Just let that be that way for now. If, on the other hand, your practice is in a place where it's available to you, then what I want you to do is the same thing. We're resting as awareness, noticing all the thoughts and feelings and body sensations and so on arising, but we are also not separate from them at all, and there's no observer, right? There's just the raw experience not happening anywhere, not happening to anyone, so to speak. Right? We're not standing outside in this more advanced version of it. We're not standing outside of it in awareness, looking back. We are the field of awareness, and all the thoughts and feelings and body sensations are arising in a completely flowing, unfixated, non-crystallized, continuous flow of experience. but a flow of experience that's not really made of anything and not really happening to anyone. It's simply appearance. Okay, so that's how you do it if you're pretty good at non-reification, right? And you may notice, even if you think you're good at non-reification, that you may notice that you're either standing outside, kind of, and so I would encourage you, if you're standing outside or you feel you're separate somehow, challenge yourself to let go a little more and see that there is no outside observer at all. There's just the appearances. Or if it's you may even find you think you're pretty good at doing that, but you may find that these thoughts and feelings actually do grab you, and now you're in it. You're identified. You are caught. You are triggered. You are, at least following them actively. That's grasping, right? Now you've gripped on, and you're completely identified with it. And so, if that's the case, at least move yourself outside the mind into the stance of kind of a separate witness. But best would be rest as awareness itself, aware of its own displays. The thoughts and feelings and body sensations are its own displays of itself to itself for itself. So let's try that for a few minutes. Okay, very good. Now we're going to do something we haven't done in a while. We'll only do it for, again, this is a shorter meditation, so we'll only do it for a little while. But I want you to let go of noticing all that mental content and physical content and emotional content, and instead simply notice the darkness. Just notice we're already resting in vastness. Now notice the darkness. That there's kind of a vast, dark space very much as if you were aware you were in deep sleep. If you've ever done that, you kind of become aware while you're still deeply asleep with no dreams. What you'll notice is darkness, numbness in the sense that it's not white colored, it's black colored, so to speak. And so notice whatever parts of experience, almost like in the core of your mind, it literally is the core of your mind, are spacious and dark. And then on top of it, on top of those two features, notice that there is stillness. That all the content of experience, all the stuff we were noticing, the body sensations, the emotions, the thoughts, and so on, are in motion, but there's also this background, so to speak, of stillness. And the stillness is very, very spacious and very dark. So let's just sit with that for a minute. Good. Now, together with the spaciousness and the darkness and stillness, add in one final quality, which is silence. It's perfectly silent. And we're going to add one little extra twist, which is just imagine that you are asleep, not dreaming, all the way asleep, totally asleep, but still aware, wide awake, aware, but the mind is asleep. And all you can notice is vast, spacious, silent, dark stillness. This is the essence of very deep non-dual shamatha. Is to remain utterly awake, penetratingly, blazingly awake, while the mind is essentially in deep sleep. No sensory data is coming in at all. It's silent, it's dark, it's still, and it's spacious. So it's not about shutting anything off here, but just selectively attending to those parts of experience that are like that. Just noticing the spaciousness that's available. Just noticing the silence that's available. Just noticing whatever stillness and darkness are there. And just in a way allowing the mind to dissolve, leaving only awakeness. Good. Now, from this place, turn the awareness on itself. Allow the awareness to become aware of its own awareing. Allow the awareness to see itself, so to speak. And notice the change that occurs. That's what I want you to do in Nondual shamatha, awareness of awareness practice. We go to the dark, silent, still place until that's all there is, and then turn the awareness on itself. Allow the light of awareness to shine on itself, so to speak, and notice what happens. So let's ring the bell there for the end of the meditation. Again, this is a very short guided meditation this evening, but I wanted to at least offer you this. And I think I'm just going to leave it at that. If you want to keep meditating in this way, go ahead and continue the meditation for another half hour. Otherwise, I should be back in action at Alembic. I will be back in action at Alembic next Thursday in person. And of course, here on YouTube as well. So thank you for joining me thank you very much for joining me tonight, or whatever time it is where you're at. And I'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Such a pleasure, everyone. It's really, I really love doing this. So I hope to see you again soon. Okay, bye-bye.